Well, today's the day we've finally been waiting for a while. It's what my content over the last week and a half, 2 weeks has built up to. It is the start of Euro 2024. Germany versus Scotland tonight. The hosts taking on, one of the more severe underdogs in the tournament. No real debating that. I can't imagine Scotland will accomplish much. When do they ever do? Sorry, Scotland fans. Got to get my jabs in while I can. And before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video, which, as by the title I'm sure you can see, is linked to what I'm about to say. I don't know why I'm putting so much of a preview on it when the video's here. And I put a post up yesterday on my YouTube channel in the community section, but I know not a lot of people see that. And I just wanted to donate a bit of time to saying thank you so much for 1,000, pretty decently over 1,000 subscribers now, which I know is a relatively small amount of the way that channels grow, but to me it feels like a big deal. And one I never thought I'd get to, just because that wasn't really the intention when I first started. I just wanted to sort of make videos and discuss football, which is a huge passion for mine, and share with the world what my views on football were, how I like to break football down and just analyse things in my own way, because I'm a bit of a geek. This is how I consume football. This isn't just me forcing content for the sake of it. I break stuff down, I analyse it tactically. I'm probably a bit of a boring knob to my mates at points, because while they're just talking about, yeah, he was really good at the weekend, I'm going, well, the way he moves through the zones and collects it on the half turn isn't really contrasting well with the way that the wide player moves behind the lines. And look, to some people that's geeky and a bit too much, but that's just what I love about it. And the fact that so many of you have watched and have kept watching and have interacted and have subscribed to keep watching, it's honestly very humbling, and I'm very grateful for the support that I've received over these videos. And again, if you read the post yesterday, this may seem like a bit deja vu, but this is only the beginning. I've struggled a bit for consistency with scheduling over the last year or so when making content, which is definitely going to be fixed in the next year, definitely, because that's where I'm sort of planned ahead to. But going forward, generally, this is something that I'm passionate about. This is something I want to put my all into, and growing this channel and growing a bit of a community. And I'm not going to go into some of the details yet, but we're going to start with making Euro 2024 content on the regular, daily. I'm going to try and stick to, and just try and make it as good as possible. Reviewing games, doing the how good is, just doing everything football. And again, content will grow, and I'll keep you guys in the loop with everything as I do it. And also, in the description, you will see a link to a Discord group chat. Get involved. I want to create like a sort of active group of people just talking about football. And, it'd just be sound to have that as like a little community that we could grow. I just think there needs to be a bit more of a community in the YouTube football tactical analysis landscape. It can't all just be dominated by clickbait YouTube titles and just boring discussions where you're listening to and wondering what the hell are these guys going on about. So let's create a proper community of good footballing discussion and grow it from there. Because I feel like there's so many voices, and the comment section of my videos have shown that there are so many voices which don't get heard enough, that are intelligent and know what they're talking about. And it's about time we showed that. It's about time YouTube football gets a good reputation instead of just being clickbait idiots that are just shouting garbage non-stop. So that's my idea with that. And I've also got a Twitter handle, which I never really plug, but I'm going to leave that in the description. So follow me on there. I post occasionally about Twitter, about football rather. If I get enough of a following on there, I'll start posting more. So there you go. And yeah, just ending on that starting point, this is considering that this is the 1,000 subscriber special video, I guess. Thank you. Thank you very much to 1,000, and here's to many more. I look forward to the growth, and I look forward to you coming along for the ride. But now on with the video, which I'm sure is all anybody cares about. My Euro 2024 predictor. I'm using the Telegraph's predictor that they have on their site, which is annoying because I had to sign up for their free trial, thinking I could just go into the little manage account thing and cancel it, but I've got to ring up now and cancel it. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Hopefully I don't forget to do that, because it'll cost me 25 quid otherwise. But regardless, I'm sure you don't care. This is how I think the tournament is going to go in terms of... I've thought about this a lot, actually, and tournaments bring surprises. It would be boring if I just went with what everyone considers the favourites and not put any surprises within the groups and in the knockout stages. But this is me thinking with a bit of logic as to what could happen and where those surprises could come. A lot of people probably won't agree, but this is just my opinion. This is just how I feel like the tournament could go based on what I've seen in the friendlies, on player forms and availability and previous tournament experiences, is what I've come to. So we're going to start with Group A. The hosts Germany, Scotland, Hungary and Switzerland. Okay, one position I'm definitely certain of. Can I do this? Yes, I can. Scotland in fourth. Look, I know that Scotland have got a decent group of technical players, but just not for me. Not for me. I think fourth is where they're at. I don't see them, overachieving and performing any miracles. So, I know the easy option is Germany first. Given that they're Germany, and also that this is their tournament, they're at home, it's in Germany. But I'm not a fan of this Germany team. If you watched my Germany tactical analysis, you know how I feel about it. I'm not as keen on Nagelsmann as people generally are. I think he's a good manager. I don't think he's a cut manager. I think people are very forgiving of his flaws because he's young and he plays really good football, really easy on the eye football. He's shown at Dortmund and Munich he's a terrible cut manager. He got bad in the DFB Pokal final against Borussia Dortmund, I believe it was 4-1. Bayern Munich got absolutely schooled across two legs against Villarreal by good tactical managers that set out game plans that you need for cup competitions. And this Germany team have some flaws. Fullback in midfield, they lack a real holder. And the attacking players haven't quite gelled. If you watch their friendly games, well, I know they got a draw and a win, but it was tough watch. It was a really tough watch. And so because of that, I'm going to go for Germany second. Oh, I feel like I'm going to get slated for that. And first, a team that many thought should have been in my dark horse poll the other day, Hungary. Just because I think in this group, I think Switzerland have got some very good technical players, and there's a lot I like about them. But I think it's almost the line of too technical, which for an international team is a minus. And Hungary have shown that they can hurt teams over the last few years. Obviously, beating us 4-0 in the Nations League. They also had the group in the last Euros where it was like Portugal, France, and Germany, and people had written them off, and they almost ended up getting through. So I just think there's something about them. They've got some quality players. Dominik Szoboszlai, Milos Kerkez, Attila Szalai, I think his name is, the lad that was at Fenerbahce. I think he's transferred since. This is probably me sounding like a stupid idiot. I think he's not even in the squad because of injury or something. But I just think there's some players that can hurt teams there for Hungary. A bit harsh, but because do you know what? I could easily see any of Germany, Hungary, Switzerland first. And because of that, Switzerland will be a third place team that go through. But I'm going to go Hungary. This is my big upset so far, is Hungary going through top of that group. A bit of a Costa Rica vibe about them. Group B, this is for me is the easiest one to predict. First, going to do this, get this one out of the way. Albania 4th. I would love to try and be that guy that predicts an upset in this group, but I can't see it. I just can't see it. I think the quality of the three teams above them is too high. I'm going to go Spain first. I think they're the most complete out the three. I'm big on Spain. I know a lot of people aren't, but I think they've got, you could argue, the best midfield in Europe, and I also think they've got a nice array of attackers. There's still maybe a lack of goal threat, but they've got pace and they've got directness, and they've got different ways of playing with that forward line that can hurt teams in different ways. I feel like there's a lot of variety to attack with. There's breakout tournaments for players in that squad, and again a bit weak defensively, but that I'm quite happy with Spain. I just think the ability to control games the way they do at international football is such a plus to them. And I'm going to go Croatia second and Italy third. Shout out to my Croatians, that video banged and you guys are great for support. Love you lot. And so because of that, you're going second. Yes, I'm a kiss ass. Yes, I'm a brown noser. I don't care. I do genuinely think they're a better team than Italy though. I think in their head-to-head game they beat Italy. And I think Spain either draw or beat Italy. I think Italy could end up with 3 points, and because of that may not even make it through in the third place league thing that they do. I just think Croatia have got such an underratedly well-rounded side. They've got players coming into the tournament on good form, a very well-balanced side, a fantastic midfield as well. I was just speaking about Spain's, but Kovacic, Brozovic and Modric is as good as it gets at international level. So it wouldn't even shock me if they finished first in the group, to be honest with you, but because of how big I am on Spain, if I maybe had the opinion that everyone else does about Spain, I'd maybe put Croatia first. But Spain, thoroughly deserving it in my opinion in that one. And Group C, the group of England. This is probably going to be the most boring group of the entire tournament. I think England get through with 7 to 9 points, with 1-0, 0-0s, maybe a 2-1 or 2-0 if they're feeling a bit adventurous. I just think this will be a grind. So I'm going to go England first. Now, I've got a little bit of a tickle in my head about Slovenia. They are the rank outsiders of not just this group, the entire tournament. But, and by the way, the majority of these teams I've seen them play in a warm-up friendly. I've not seen an ounce of Slovenia in any of the warm-up games. But I know they got a good result against Portugal in March, and they've got a fantastic shot stopper in Jan Oblak. Again, I'm assuming fitness here. A fantastic shot stopper in Jan Oblak, and an on-fire goal scorer in Benjamin Sesko. And they'll keep it tight, they'll keep it compact, and they have the perfect goalkeeper to keep teams out of the net, and a great transitional striker to go and attack the other end and put the ball in the back of the net. And I think they could surprise a few teams in this group. And I think Denmark aren't maybe as good as people expect and people think they are. Serbia, again, Serbia could be that Slovenia team. Like, they could surprise a few people, keep it compact, and they've got very good attackers as well. And they've probably, well, it's not even probably, I think they've definitely got a much better, well-rounded squad than Slovenia rather. There's just something about Slovenia I'm liking, and maybe it's just me trying to be a bit too different and a bit too edgy with my picks, but I just think they've got the goalkeeping and attacking position are so important to international football, and Slovenia have got two players. One that's got the experience of being at the top of European football for a number of years, and one that's coming into the tournament on red-hot form. So I'm going to go Slovenia, Denmark, and Serbia last. Sorry, Serbians. You know, I feel a bit rotten putting you last because I don't think you're the fourth worst, or you're the worst team in this group. But I've sort of got my head set on the Slovenia thing, and now I can't change it, and I just don't think you'll finish above Denmark. Group D, Netherlands, Australia, France and Poland. I don't want to edit in this video because I'm going to be doing a lot of editing over the next month, so I kind of want to just keep this as one take as I possibly can. Netherlands, Austria, France and Poland, as I've just said. And there's something about this group that puzzles me, and I can't quite work out what it is, but I don't know. I'm going to go France first. And can Austria do something here? They've played really well over the last couple of years with Ralf Rangnick. They've bought into his philosophy, and they've got a couple good players, especially in the midfield area, technical, hard-working, that can cause teams issues. Can they finish above the Netherlands, who have come into this tournament with massive injuries to the midfield? I think they're well coached. I think Koeman has done a better job with them than people will give him credit for. But I feel like they can be undone. I don't feel like they've got the most reliable attackers to score goals. And I know defensively, as much as Van Dijk is the best centre-back in the world, I know he doesn't get that same level of performance out of himself at international level that he does for Liverpool. I know he gets slated. And Dutch media, as I've said in videos before, I think I said it in the tactical analysis I did of it yesterday, but Dutch media, you lot are brutal on Netherlands. Brutal. I'm going to go Netherlands. Not every group can have an upset. Netherlands second, Austria third, but that could easily be Austria second for me. And to be honest with you, it could even be France second or third, because, you know, they're not cooking, they're not flying the way that, you know, we will have come to expect from them over the last few years. I think we're seeing the transition of the team now. The players have come out of the team and they're starting to build that new core of players after Kante, although I know he's in the squad, after Pogba and Matuidi. And, you know, Giroud's impact is lessening. Again, he's in the squad, but how much of a part he'll play, who knows. But I still think you've got to fancy Netherlands. I just think Netherlands and Austria are two teams that maybe are just not good enough to upset France. If they were in the group with you know, like a Croatia, I think they'd finish above France, in my personal opinion. Group E, I'm going to go Belgium top. I think that they could easily go through with 9 points in this group. I think, again, they're a team that are a bit better than people give credit for. I don't think they're going to do anything major in the competition, but I think people underrate this team because of the lack of names that they have within that, now that the defence has declined massively with no Vertonghen, Alderweireld and company. I know Vertonghen's in the squad, but he's about 57, so, you know, how much of a part he'll play, who knows. The midfielders that were there, Nangolan, in Witsel have declined. Witsel plays more in defence anyway now, and he's Atletico star centre back. So there is a lack of something. No Hazard as well, even though he's never really performed as well for Belgium. And can you trust De Bruyne to stay fit for an entire tournament? Is Lukaku going to go missing in every big game? Potentially. But I just think there's enough youth and vibrancy with the pace, and if you watch my tactical analysis, that can hurt teams. Doku, what's the lad's name? Bakayoko. They've got a few decent midfielders, that Vermeer and Onana. They've got a good couple young players that I think coming out of this tournament will think about this Belgian team and go, all right, a couple tournaments, maybe get a couple extra players for depth at centre-back or in defence, and this Belgium team could get a player that can... You're not going to find someone that's going to replace De Bruyne, but a technical player that can break through. Maybe it's that De Ketelaere, goes to Atlanta on a full transfer and, absolutely bosses it. I hope he's Belgian, because I feel like I've just nailed my colours to the mast with that, but I'm not 100% on it. And again, really winnable group. You know what? Just for the sake of... there's just something about Romania. I don't know. I've always quite liked them. And I'm going to put them second and Ukraine third. This is a group, bar Belgium, I don't have any real strong opinion on. I'm just going Romania just because Ukraine are a good unit. I just think sometimes they find it hard to break out of that unit and win games in that regard. And I know they did well in the last year as they got to the quarterfinals. I feel like Ukraine are a team that do better against bigger teams, but don't have that necessarily attacking. Actually, they do. They have Mudryk and Dovbyk. Sigankov as well. You know what? Ukraine second, Romania third. Okay, Group F. Okay, again, a bit like Group A. There we go. I think Georgia will have a big result in this group. I think they'll nick points off of either Turkey or Czech Republic. They'll have something to celebrate come the end of the tournament, but the levels and quality. And Turkey, again, Euro 2020's dark horses. People are saying that again for this tournament. I don't feel it. I'm sorry. I just don't think their squad's as good as other people make it out to be. I think there's a couple ballers. Çalhanoğlu is one of my favourite players in world football. But again, I don't know what it is. I just don't vibe with this Turkey team. And do you know what? I'm going to predict something. I'm going to predict something bold here. And I had this in my mind before the video started, which is why I've quickly made this. Czech Republic first, Portugal second. And the reason for that is because I think this Portugal team will do well in this tournament, but I think they'll take a few games to get into it. And finishing second in a group isn't a necessary reflection on how you go on to perform in the later stages. Portugal won a Euros finishing third in their group, not winning a single group stage game. And Czech Republic always just have a daft result in a Euros or in a World Cup. It feels like they just pull a random result out of the bag and beat someone you don't expect them to. Again, there's no real logic to that, but I just feel like the Czech are a mad bunch, aren't they? They just win games somehow. And there's a good core of players. They're obviously the West Ham lads. I feel like there's so many decent Czech players that I'm just completely blanking on right now. But again, I just think coming into the tournament, I still think there's a few positions that Portugal have that they're a bit iffy on. The striking position is one. I've made my feelings known on the past, and I'm not going to go there again because, Jesus Christ, I've made some friends that way with my Cristiano Ronaldo opinion, and I'm pretty sure you can guess why. But I'm going to go Czech Republic first, Portugal second, and I think those two finish a bit further apart in the group than the other two. I think Turkey are a third place team that don't end up going through. But that's my group stage decided. I feel like I've made some controversial picks here. I'd love to know what you guys think. Be gentle. I'm a fragile man. I'm not really. Okay, the third place ranking. So this obviously is... You've got to rank it based on how they would have performed in that group and how many points they would have got within that. So which is why I'm going to go Switzerland first. Denmark second. Austria third. And I think Italy just scraped through. And Romania and Turkey sixth. Do you know what? Part of me thinks, because I think I said before that I can see Italy getting 3 points in the group. I can see them beating Albania but losing to Croatia and Spain. And could Romania get 4 points in their group? Could they draw against Ukraine and beat Slovakia? Yes, they could. Do I go bold and do I leave Italy out? I was really unimpressed with their off-the-ball formation against Turkey, I believe it was. Yeah, against Turkey. And they changed their tactics up massively for the Bosnia game, where it was 3 at the back, and so there was a lot more protection. But again, there was still so many issues in the middle of the park. You know what? I'm going to go bold. Bugger it. Again, I'm going to try and go a bit out there, because these never turn out how you expect them to. Romania, because of their group as well, because you can easily see them picking 4 points up out of that and finishing 3rd. Whereas Italy, I think, lose both games against Croatia and Spain. So I'm going to make a bold prediction there. Oh, something about this feels a bit wrong. But yep, Italy going out of the group stages. That's my big shock for the groups. Okay, do I nail my colours to the mast? Bugger it, yeah. I understand my reasoning, so that's why I'm going to go for it. And the round of 16... Hungary versus Slovenia. Bloody hell, I've really set up a hell of a knockout round here. Hungary, you know, that's going to be an extra time job if that happens. Germany, Croatia. Again, I'm not a fan of Germany, and I am a big fan of Croatia. Some will be happy with that, some won't be. But I think Croatia on paper, and not even on paper actually, if anything off paper, I just think performance-wise, tactically, have the beating of this Germany side. The only thing is, if this was any other nation other than Germany, I'd be so much more confident of a Croatia win. But home field advantage matters in international tournaments. I don't know why, it just does. Spain versus Romania, easy. Spain. England versus Austria. Austria could cause England problems, but I think England just have enough quality to get through that. Czech Republic, Switzerland. That's a toughie. Do you know what? Head's telling me Czech. Head's telling me Czech. Again, Switzerland, technically really good. I just think in international football, the way a Czech team would set up would benefit these knockout ties more. And I think this could be a high-scoring game. I think Switzerland could go punch for punch with Czech Republic and leave themselves a little bit exposed. And I just feel like Czech could produce a game plan that could do them in. You know, set pieces as well with the likes of Souček. And they've naturally breed some tall Eastern European bastards anyway. I'm going to go Czech Republic. Netherlands, Ukraine. I think Netherlands have got enough to beat Ukraine. It wouldn't surprise me if Netherlands games are high scoring as well. I can see them battering teams they beat. And in the games where it's closer, it's 3-2s, it's 4-3s. Belgium, Denmark. Ooh, could Denmark do something against Belgium here? I'm thinking about that now. I'm going to go Belgium. But... That wouldn't shock me. I'm just going with the fact that I think Belgium are a little bit underrated and I feel like Denmark are a little bit overrated. So I'm just going to use that as my platform to edge it for Belgium. France, Portugal. Oh, that's a big knockout tie. That is one big team going home early in the 16. I think I said before, I think Portugal come into it in the knockout rounds. Then I think this France team have got some flaws. I think they're in the middle of their transition where it sort of makes them a bit unimpressive. I feel like Deschamps is due that really bad tournament as well, and I think Portugal's star individual players will turn up in these occasions. That's my honest opinion. So that's them through. It's Hungary, Croatia, Spain, England, Czech Republic, Netherlands, Belgium, Portugal. Quarterfinals, Hungary, Spain. Fantastic performance from Hungary, but Spain win. Czech Republic, Netherlands. Could Czech beat Netherlands? They did it in the last Euros. I can't predict Czech Republic to the semi-final with good grace. Can I? Portugal, Belgium. Again, I think knockout tie. Belgium will do well to get to this point, and I think they'll show qualities in the game. I think you could even see them coming out of this game with the thought of that they were the better side. Almost a bit of a Dortmund-Madrid scenario, but I just think Portugal have got the quality to win. You know, just the team that can play in moments is massive in an international knockout tournament. England, Croatia. I went with my heart and my head, and I know it's going to be unpatriotic. I think this England team will get exposed. I think this is Southgate's last tournament, and I think do you know what my biggest issue with Southgate is? He's almost played a bit too much to the general England fan with the squad selection, and I feel like his biggest strength has been his almost his FU attitude to the world. Like, he's always been slated for decisions, and he's always almost made the opposite of what people wanted, and it's worked every time. Whereas I feel like this one, he's sort of bowed a bit. It's almost like he knows it's his last tournament. He's just thought, "Oh, bugger it. All right, then you want all these players in, I'll chuck everyone in." And they're playing, and again, he gets the reputation that he's a defensive pragmatist. This England team haven't played pragmatically in a couple years now. This is not a pragmatic England team anymore. To a fault. I don't think they've got, especially with the injuries, the players to play on the halfway line and play progressively. And I think it's going to be undoing. I think tactically this Croatia team could do them. We've seen Modric run right against us before, and I think he beats us. Quarter-final exit, and I think that's the end of Southgate, in my opinion, with how this goes. Spain, Netherlands. What a semi-final match that would be. In terms of countries that represent good football, Spain and Netherlands is everything you'd want. I'm going to edge Spain. I think this Spain team have a lot of qualities, and I think they could really undo Netherlands' lack of balance. But a fantastic performance from Netherlands to get to this point of the competition. Portugal, Croatia. Again, I think Portugal's individual quality gets them through. I think Croatia do brilliantly to get to this point. And again, I just that individual quality. Roberto Martinez is an experienced international manager. And Spain, Portugal in the final. Oh, this feels dirty almost. Yep. I've gone Spain. And I'll tell you why. I think in terms of a midfield, in terms of experience at the top level of players that are winning trophies, and the stylistic way in which they play, they can control games of football and have the opposition playing at their tempo. And I think you can frustrate this Portugal team with the individual players there, where if it's not going their way, their levels can drop mentally. And the way they'll keep the ball in midfield, and the way that they'll have the likes of Nico Williams, and I think Lamine Yamal doesn't start, but I think he plays himself into the Spain team. And once they hit full flow, that could be a mix that is hard for that Portugal defence to contain. I think the way they push the fullbacks on leaves those wide areas exposed. Grimaldo as well, Carvajal joining in with the creation from midfield, and Spain ultimately win. And yeah, I'm big on the Spain team. I may have also had them at the sweepstake at work, which is why I'm trying to push this agenda. But Spain are my winners for Euro 2024. I feel like this is going to upset a few people. Not just Spain winning, but the entirety of what I've predicted. Again, I've tried to be a bit different because tournaments never happen how you expect. So I've tried to not force in where I think surprises could happen, but just anticipate where they could. Just trying to be a little bit clever, I guess. And Spain are my Euro 2024 winners. I don't know how I feel about this. Sorry. Me celebrating those 1,000 subscribers at the start of the video might be in vain because you might all be gone by now. But I'd love to hear what your guys' views are. Again, join the Discord group chat that I've left in the description below and share your results of the predictor. I'd love to hear some discussion on this. And yeah, just some good, well-balanced opinions. Just some good old-fashioned Texas fun. I don't know what that meant. You probably don't either. But yes, as I said at the start of the video, thank you for our 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for watching the video.